children. UKIP's leader has accused the council of having an apartheid-style policy and denies he's taking advantage. Well, in a statement, Rotherham Metropolitan Borough Council said, after a group of sibling children were placed with agency foster carers, issues were raised regarding the long-term suitability of the carers for these particular children. With careful consideration, a decision was taken to move the children to alternative care. We continue to keep the situation under review.
We're very clear that we believe that whilst we have no prejudice against anybody from any part of the world, we believe that immigration into Britain ought to be controlled, and that since 2004, to have had a total unlimited open door to the whole of Eastern Europe is an irresponsible and bad thing to do, and in fact has damaged many of our communities by dividing them, put massive pressure on social services and contributed to rising unemployment. We say that as a party that has no desire to be against anybody, but a strong desire to put British communities first. That ought to be a proper debate in British politics, and what the Labour, Tory and Lib Dems have tried to do is to kill that debate. Well, they're not going to succeed, and we're going to make sure these things are discussed. And as I say, given that in a year's time we open the doors to 29 million people from two very poor Eastern European countries, we urgently need to have this debate. What has happened this morning is Rotherham Council are now backtracking, which is good, and they have responded to our first request, which is that this couple should be allowed to foster again. And I'm pleased that at least they've done that. But what they've said is rather insulting. They've said the couple may foster again, but only white children. That, frankly, is pursuing an apartheid-style policy, dividing up children and categorising adults. I'm sorry, that simply isn't good enough. What Rotherham Council ought to be doing is they ought to be apologising wholeheartedly for the concern and the upset that they've caused, and heads should roll within that council. I think we should be colourblind in these things. What we should be doing is looking, particularly with fostering, which is a very tough thing for people to do emotionally and in every way. We should be making sure that children, whatever background they come from, and parents, whatever background they come from, we need to give these children a loving environment in which they can be helped to move on, possibly to be adopted long-term by somebody else. It's the interests of the child that matter, not some politically correct theory.
Well, let's talk to Sky's Mike McCarthy, who's in Rotherham. Mike, a very good morning to you. I just wanted to quote, or take a quote from the Telegraph this morning. It's from one of these, the woman, I think, in this couple, who'd been fostering for 7 years. They had these 3 children. She said when the social workers came, one of them said, well, UKIP has got racist policies. The implication was that we were racist. The social worker said UKIP does not like European people and wants them all out of the country to be returned to their own country. She's furious. She felt she was doing a very good job of bringing up these foster children. She's been doing it for 7 years, as we say. And Rotherham Council don't seem to be denying that this happened.
No, Rotherham Council have defended the decision. The Director of Children's Services, Joyce Thacker, has said publicly that she doesn't regret it. She said that she did it because, or the council did it because they had to take into consideration the ethnic and cultural needs long-term of these 3 sibling children. But there's no doubt about it, it's ignited in multicultural Rotherham quite a row, with people accusing the authority of playing politics in an arena where politics don't belong. This is a particularly sensitive time in Rotherham because it's the run-up to a by-election next week after the sitting Labour MP Dennis McShane quit after an expenses row. So everyone is, I think, sort of trying to deal with this issue in something of a febrile atmosphere. The Labour Party have distanced themselves because Rotherham Council is Labour control, but at a national level, the Labour Party have said that membership of UKIP should not block parents from adopting children. There needs to be an urgent investigation by Rotherham Borough Council into this decision. So we have to wait and see whether Rotherham Council will change this particular decision in light of what the Labour Party have said. But so far, their stance is we're sticking by what we've decided in relation to these 3 children.
OK, Mike, thanks very much indeed. Mike McCarthy there. People suspected of using aggressive schemes to avoid tax have been targeted.